It's very interesting today. The hot news is Nepal is on its way to becoming a Hindu Rashtra one more time. Is that right? What do you think of it, and what do you say?
So, interestingly, Nepal has had a long history of being a Hindu Rashtra, Hindu kingdom, and it is not from today. It's been like for eons, actually, hundreds of years. And chronologically, just to give you a little bit of history on this, uh, it started right from the third century BCE. I think even probably before. It was called the Lichavi period. And right from then, when King Jayasthiti Malla was ruling Nepal, it was a Nepala, it was a Hindu Rashtra, and it was codified in the 14th century in a book called Nepala Rashtra Shastra by King Jayasthiti Malla. And from there on, things have, been pretty, very, very Hindu-oriented, Hindutva-oriented kingdom. And it was the only Hindu kingdom up until 2008.
They had given one of the rousing welcome to Modi ji when he became the PM first too.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Because when Modi ji became prime minister, this way back, they have always given a good welcome to Modi ji, and they've had a good kind of a connection between the BJP, the RSS, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, and all those organizations. But for whatever reason, there was a demonstration way back in 2006. Maybe it started even sooner, and the ground was kind of set to kind of get rid of the monarchy and bring in democracy.
For China rule.
And oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, a lot of factors went into it. The funny thing was one of the Hindu groups, called Janajatis and other minority religious groups, they led the demonstration. And as a result of the demonstration, Nepal declared itself as a secular country and brought in democracy. And it was based on the constitution change of Nepal. It was called Part 1 of Article 4 of 2072, where secularism means religious, cultural freedom along with the protection of religion, culture handed down from time immemorial. That is, time immemorial means Sanatana Kal from then. So, and we have seen the ups and downs of secular, or people call it secular, SICK, and it's a pun of words. And you've seen how it's been taken advantage of by a lot of people. But regardless, going back to Nepal, in 2008, monarchy was fully abolished, and it was no longer a Hindu country. And then elections were held, and Communist Party led by Pushpa Kamal Prachanda was brought into power. And from there on, a lot of things have happened, and the demographics have kind of have shifted a little bit. Originally, the Hindu population in Nepal was somewhere in the 90 percentile, and now it's come down to 81.34%. Based on the 2011 census, and 9% of the population are Buddhists, followed by Islam, which is around 4.4%, and 3.1% is observed by an indigenous religion called Kirat, and only a very small percentage, which is about 1.4%, are Christians, and the rest are all Sikhs and Jains and other minority religions. So this demographics actually in the 50s, as I told you, right, the Hindu population was somewhere in the 88 percentile. Then it went up, and then it came down to 81. But fortunately, between 2001 and between 2001 census and 2011 census, there was a marginal growth of around 0.72% of Hindus. Okay, but Hindus are still the majority in Nepal.
But what is happening now? Okay, let us.
What is happening now? Okay, the things that are leading to what, going back to Hindu Rashtra, it's not just one thing that just started off. They conducted a series of opinion polls in 2010 and 2011, and around 55% of Nepalis said that they supported a potential redeclaration of Nepal as a Hindu state in 2010, 2011. And then in 2013, the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, which is one of the big parties in the coalition government now, said that it wants to bring Hindu Rashtra back. And one of the deputy prime ministers of Nepal, Kamal Thapa, he was a former deputy PM, also demanded it to become a Hindu Rashtra. And then ever since, it's like, year over year, there's been demands and stuff like that. And funnily enough, KP Sharma Oli, he was the prime minister for 3.5 years, from 2018, I believe, till 2021.
Almost appointed by China.
Pretty much. He's a Communist Party guy. And he came into power, and initially he made claims. He was very close to China, extremely close to China, and he took a lot of aid from China. He took a lot of money, financial aids, and all that kind of stuff happened. And China, as you know, we have seen what's going on in Sri Lanka now, and we've seen what's going on in Pakistan now. And China is controlling close to 40 countries where they've given grants. Not grants, loans to countries so that they can take over some of the infrastructure in these countries. Same thing started happening in Nepal. Fortunately, Oli was thrown out, and they brought the current Prime Minister, Duba.
And a very interesting thing during the time of Oli was, in fact, the Chinese ambassador was more popular than the Prime Minister of Nepal at one point of time.
I believe so. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And that's so. Chinese have controlled these government, and their motto is to help countries so that they can take over infrastructure, and eventually, probably, I'm not sure about this, they may also start taking over political, powers and stuff like that, because Communist Party is also a big entity in Nepal, right? And so anyways, Sher Bahadur Duba came into power in July 2021. And as soon as he came into power, and his thinking, he's from a party, it's Congress, Nepal Congress Party or something. So that's where he's from. And unfortunately, his term is only for the remaining 1.5 years. So he took over in July 2021, and he will be finishing his term end of this year. Okay, and in this in the last year or whatever, or a few months, 8 months, 10 months that he's been in power, he's been doing a lot. Actually, he was on his first state visit to India just about last week, I believe, and he met with Prime Minister Modi. He met with Chief Minister Yogi Ji. He visited the Kashi Vishwanath temple. And the biggest surprise was he actually went to the BJP office.
Yeah, how is that? And
I was shocked, because no foreign dignitary has ever visited a political party's office, ever. So this was the first time.
Even if they meet, they go to the opposition party, generally.
Right. And now what has happened is one of the ministers in Duba's government, Minister for Tourism and Culture, Prem Ale, he was addressing the opening of the 2-day Executive Council meeting of the World Hindu Federation in Kathmandu. And he said the demand to declare Nepal as a Hindu state can be considered, and if such demands comes, he will play a constructive role in this. What does that mean? It means that not only him as a person, Prem Ale, but his government and the coalition governments, political parties who are actually, are in power today, they're all in favor. And this is what is kind of surprising me, because and surprisingly, even the president of the World Hindu Federation International, Ajay Singh, he also demanded that Nepal be declared as a Hindu state, as the country is inhabited by a huge majority of Hindu population. So it's like I kind of summed it up in a very small way, but a lot of things have led to this whole this whole notion of going back to the to Nepal becoming a Hindu Rashtra again.
Absolutely. Does the BJP have any hand on it? Are they doing any precursor in Nepal?
I don't know if we can say BJP has a hand in it, but I'll tell you what's going on. Okay. Funnily enough, when even before Duba came into power, right? Oli was the prime minister, and even during his time, BJP has kind of it's not BJP influencing them, but the Nepalis getting influenced by what was happening in BJP by the BJP government. BJP came into power in India in 2014. So ever since, they've seen the transformation, what's happening in India. They meaning Nepalese. And they've seen that, the BJP is kind of has brought in certain laws and certain, anti-conversion bills and stuff like that.
And then conversion there is by Christian missionaries is unbelievable.
It is taken a big...
In fact, one thing that need to be noted, okay, from America, we will do a thing on it separately. From America, when Nepal was going through earthquake, every country was sending the human need there, food and other thing, for the people. Whereas from America, a truck, a plane load of Bible came, which was sent back.
You know what? You're absolutely right, because there is something called as conversion, and there is something called as proselytism. Proselytism is the policy of attempting to convert people's religious or political beliefs through bribing, forcing, or coaxing or threatening. This is called proselytism, and unfortunately in Nepal it has become rampant right now. Christian missionaries have come in to help when there was avalanche and there was all kinds of other natural calamities.
Vultures don't come without any reason.
Oh, they have their own agenda. They have their own agenda, because the missionaries.
Teresa, who the people call Mother Teresa. She said, I am here to convert people first.
So anyways, what has happened is because of when the AIDS came into Nepal, Nepal is a poor country. Okay, let's not argue on that. It's a poor country, and the missionaries used to come and actually this proselytism, what I just told you, right? They used to hand off money to these people. They used to hand off clothes. They used to hand off medicines. They used to hand off a lot of other things, right? And they used to say, "Hey guys, all I want in return is you become Christians." And
so that the people, God can love you. But now let's not go into the detail. That's not the scope of this video. But my question is, does this influence Nepal becoming a Hindu Rashtra also, you think?
Absolutely. This is, the funny thing. The funny thing is, ironically, what I was trying to say, the Muslim population, like I said, is around 4% or something. And the Christian population right now is about 1.3, 1.4%. Okay. However, the Christian conversion is going on at a very rampant speed. Okay. And now what has happened is both the ruling party and the opposition parties are in favor of restoring Nepal as a Hindu state. This is never, you'll never see this in India. Or you'll never see this in Canada. You'll never see this in any part of the world where both the ruling and the opposition parties have the same common goal. Okay? And it's not just the traditional royalist and Hindutva parties like the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, RPP, but also the support of the Nepal Communist Party the unified ruling party until its recent split into the Communist Party of Nepal and the CPM, they call it, and the opposition Nepali Congress. All these people are in line, and they all want to
Destroy they want to restore their old glory. Yep.
Right, and it's also not just that. It's also the Muslim groups, along with the Hindu groups, are actually saying that Nepal should become a Hindu Rashtra because, we trust the Hindus more than anybody else. More than anybody else, you know what I mean by that, right?
Absolutely.
So they are basically saying that they don't want Christians to come in power, so they prefer the Hindus to the Christians. This is the irony of what's happening in Nepal.
Absolutely. I believe Bharat is also on steps for removing the secular word which was inserted in Indian constitution during the time of emergency. And now there is no emergency, but we have majority to take it out. It's a willingness that need to be there. But it's a very significant that, like you said, the Prime Minister of Nepal coming to the BJP office and almost giving a signal that they are going to become a Hindu Rashtra. And
his own minister has kind of come and categorically said during the World religious conference, right? So he has said that.
And many people may not know VHP, Seva Canada, Seva Bharati, they are all doing Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. They are all doing an incredible job inside Nepal, stopping conversion, bringing back the people. But let's thank every one of the warriors. Thank you, Vinayji, for sharing.
Just one quick note just before we wrap up. In fact, even BJP leader and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath wrote a letter in 2015. He was only a member of parliament at the time, to the Nepal Prime Minister, saying that Nepal must be a Hindu state and ban religious conversion. And the Nepal constitution, after that, in 2017, 2 years after that, they brought in a law which banned conversion.
And to add on to what you said, the last point, okay, Hindu Yuvavagini, which was started by Yogi Adityanath ji, was absolutely working in the borders of Nepal and UP.
There you go.
And
exactly.
To stopping conversion, to stopping the intrusion of the communist and other terrorist gangs and jihadi gangs and things like that. But
exactly.
Good days are ahead, folks. That's what
Absolutely.
it is. I want every one of you watching the video to like the video, comment here and share. Okay, what do you think? Is Nepal is going to be first Hindu Rashtra again? And do you think Bharat is in the next one online? What do you think? Do you think we have what it takes? Hare Krishna.